Welcome to the discussion of Gossamer game. I'm Lothran, and this is...
Brumble! Hello. This was a scary one.
You did say it was bad before. Can you elaborate on that?
I didn't mean the story was bad. Just that it made me feel tense and not good at all. Especially the bag of people juice. So bad. So bad. Not good at all.
That is an intense scene. I'll give you that. But what do you think of Gred?
Real sad. He's gonna die. There's nothing he can do.
He can fight.
He's exhausted. He's gonna lose. It's just a matter of time.
He might lose. Like many Jackal stories, things are up in the air at the end. They leave a bit of room to wriggle around in.
You know more?
I know more because I know so much about the Jackal, their societies, their history, their ebb and flow. I have more information to base my theories on.
Tell me. Please? Please tell me?
I will. Calm down, little worm.
Uh-huh. I'm calm. Tell me.
Through as much of their history as I've learned, jackals have practiced a period of their lives just before becoming an adult, called seclusion. Gred was very likely in seclusion, and it protected him. His room was likely reinforced from the inside so people wouldn't interrupt his practices. Typically, seclusion is performed on a group of young transitioning from being young into adulthood. They're isolated in their homes, in their rooms, with only their most prized possessions and skills that they've learned from growing up.
Oh, so the sword was Gred's most loved item?
It could easily have been. He would have taken a few objects in there with him, for his keeping. They're let out after they choose tasks, typically some form of job training, and each one goes to that training and returns home to practice what they were taught, but alone, instead of in the isolated groups when they're learning. Adapting their skills to work in group or solo. This is very important to the jackals. Adaptability, it's something they always focus on. And Gred was very likely experiencing intense soldier training both in the village and in his home.
So, he could have fought his way out then, right?
Maybe. I also knew a bit about the let's call them clackers for convenience. The clackers have a specific life cycle. For the vast majority of their lives, they live deep underground, in caves, gestating. Then they hatch and feed off of one another.
Off each other? How are there any at all?
Well, when they begin feeding, they're very small, hand size, and there are a lot of them, probably zillions of them. After gestating for hundreds of years, they hatch hungry, ravenous, in an insatiable manner. All that is around them is their own kind, so they feast.
They're just the worst. I don't like them.
They are quite bad. I don't like them either. But trust me, little worm, they are not the worst. Not by a great measure.
What else is? What's worse than them?
We'll get to that another time. Right now we have another topic that we're already discussing, so let's finish it, okay? When clackers consume enough of their fellows, they grow. As they grow, they unite into clusters. Typically, only one or a few clusters will emerge from the nest and seek out a food source. They will capture it and turn it to juice, then bring it back to their caves. There, they would mate and infest their own bodies with their young, using the food to hasten the process and generate as many eggs as possible.
So they don't think of stuff, do they?
No, they're really just big machines. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, really.
Neither do I. It's not good. But how does... how does that give Gred a chance to live?
Very excellent question, little worm. The clackers will respond to a kill of their own kind, but very like a machine, if the price of the defense isn't worth the cost to the mission, they will give up. So if Gred killed 3 or 4 such beasts and went back to his seclusion fortified room, he'd probably be fine. If he could do so without getting injured too grievously, that is.
Oh, where would be best to fight? Outside, 'cause they're from caves and stuff?
No, inside is better. More chances to limit attacker numbers. If the first clacker died in the entrance to the kitchen, for example, he might not even be attacked.
What? How come?
Well, they grow up in caves, but as they grow larger, they migrate from small caves to larger and larger ones. When they breed, they can only do so in the closest caves to the exits. Their process of growth naturally pushing them out into the world. When they mate, they have the extreme instinct to push back into the smaller caves, to the point where they kill themselves by squeezing into a space too small to hold them. This insulates the young, feeding off of their organs and stomach contents from potential predators. When they're out and about in the world, they don't have this compulsion. And quite the opposite, they don't want to fit into small spaces unless they absolutely have to.
That is messed up.
I agree, it's quite messed up.
You know a lot. Will I ever know as much as you?
Keep asking questions and being curious, and it's almost a surety. You'll know as much as I do someday.
Hooray! I'm smart.
Hooray! You are smart.
Hooray!
Uh-oh, you're tired, aren't you?
Yep. I want a nap. Let me down.
And with that, our time together is done. Good night, everyone. And remember, I encourage each and every one of you to stay safe out there.